Hey guys, Ridgeline Boys back, second video. My first video we did a tutorial on how to take out the 6-liter turbo out of the truck. Now we're gonna do a few things to the turbo. We got some of the KB Diesel or Diesel Performance billet low profile vanes. We're gonna be throwing these in. They are supposed to be a little more low profile, stronger, blah blah blah. These are 15 mil vanes for an 03 style turbo. They have, if you have an 04.5 and up, it's going to be a 13 mil. And then we're going to go ahead and take and do the TDP, which would be Turbo Depot and Performance 9-blade exhaust wheel for the 03 style Charger. And then we're going to go ahead and do the heavy duty 360 thrust rebuild kit from our good boys at KC. Shout out to Charlie. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to get crazy. I'm not going to say that I know everything about turbos. I'm not going to do any of that, because if you want somebody who knows everything about turbos, call Charlie Fish, get a KC turbo. The only thing that I wanted to do was try the 9-blade in this Charger just to see what it does, how it sounds, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be pre-balanced, everything. We're just going to put it on a stock intake wheel, and then do the vanes and then the heavy duty rebuild kit. So let's get into it. First, we're going to go ahead and spray our clamp for our exhaust side, just right on the threads a little bit with some WD-40. We're going to take our 11, throw it in here, loosen that up. And then what I usually do to help out is take that all the way off. I'll put this nut right back on here, backwards, so it can hold the tension. And I'll set that there. And then I'll take a little chisel guy here, and loosen this clamp up right there. And so that way it stays loosened up. And what I'll do now is I'll take our chisel and I'll make a scribe right here, just so we know we're going. I mean, there isn't a dowel pin right here, but I just want to make sure I do it on every one of them. I don't know, right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. Right there, you got your scribe for both sides. So now what I'll do is I usually just kind of bear hug it. Make sure you're wearing something that you really like. Bear hug it. Turn it. Bear hug it. And then one more time. Get your clamp out of the way. There we go. Okay, so our exhaust side is off. Like I said, this is a stock 03 Charger right here, 10-blade vanes. Now this is a reman turbo, and they get I see they get a little janky with their unison rings instead of getting a new one. That's why you hit up your boys at KC Turbos probably. Anyways. So we'll go ahead right quick. These are still in really good shape because we pulled them off a bunch of times. Right quick, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scribe this right there with this unison ring. So I can take it off. I'll set it there. We'll take out our old vanes. Set those here. We'll get our new ones. Let's do a little side comparison, huh? Oh, wow. Not bad. These have seen some heat. They're pretty tired. So we're going to go ahead and put our new high flow billet vanes in there. Set them in. Like that.
Is any never sees or assembly lube required?
Sometimes. Some guys like to use never sees. I'm usually one of those guys, but this is in such great working order that I'm not going to this time. So we'll just kind of line our scribe back up, and then we'll go in here and just kind of start lining our vanes up with our unison ring. I'm shaking a little bit, no big deal. Right there. Come on, sweetheart. Try this out for size. Just line those up just like that. And then there they are. Okay, vanes are done. Now for the fun part. I'll set this aside. What I'm gonna do here for the turbo side is inside your actuator that's already in here. This turbo's not that old, so I'm not gonna take any of that apart. There's oil in here yet. Just black as the night, huh? We're gonna go ahead and get all that out of there. Just so I don't have to worry about that. Good. We'll get that out of the way. Clean that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to take, I mean, in a perfect world, have a vise, but a lot of you guys are DIYers too. I'm just gonna set that exhaust wheel on a rag. And then I'm gonna come over here, 8 12 point or 5/16 12 point for these bolts here. We're gonna go ahead and take them off. I don't know if you can see, that's probably a bad angle. Aside, rag, come in here, like that. Make sure to cover that with a rag or use a nice dead blow. This one's pretty clean inside. The Reman company definitely uses Media Blast to do that. It's not very good for airflow, I'm assuming. Whatever. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and take everything loose. These are left-hand threads on these. So what I'm gonna do for the sake of everything, it's a 9/16 or a 14, fits perfect on here on your intake wheel. The reverse threads, I'm just gonna hold this back here. It's only 12 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna hold it back here with a rag. And just like that, comes loose. There's your intake wheel. And then now, we're gonna keep the exhaust wheel on our rag. We're gonna come up here. These are 5/16 12 point yet again. And take these 4 out. And then we're gonna go ahead and take these out. These come in the new rebuild kit from our good buddies at KC. And we're gonna take this off. Let me set this straight up. So you have your up arrow here on the top of your housing, and that's gonna face directly up to your
Supply line.
Supply line. Come on, sweetheart. Okay. So inside housing is off. They use the old 270 thrust on these ones. They don't like to spend a lot of money. So that's nice, good old Reman kits. But we're gonna fix that today. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the thrust washer and everything off. Set that over here. That's a 270. So what I mean by 270 is it's like a horseshoe. It's only 270 degrees around. The new kit is 360 degree all the way around there. So then it's just a better setup. I'm sure Charlie's got a video for it if you want somebody that's a little more in depth. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pop out the back of our wheel out of the exhaust housing, or turbine wheel out of the back there. This is an old wheel, so don't judge me on what I do here. Right there. And that just pops right out like that. You should have another bearing in there. Where are you at? Come on, sweetheart. Come out and play. I'll take that one out the front. And there is your stock 03 wheel. let me flip this around. Stock 03 wheel, and your bearings, and everything there. This is your oil ring that basically keeps all of your oil inside the turbo and not letting it go out the exhaust housing, the back of the exhaust housing. And that old girl looks like she's seeing some heat. So maybe it's a good idea we're gonna do this. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just take a little brake clean. Take a little brake clean, clean out the inside. I will take my knife here and get this O-ring out right there. Set that in the junk pile here. And we'll just spray her out. Do a little brake clean in there, huh? And then I'm gonna flip this so everything comes out the bottom. This side's looking a little ranchy, huh? Let's see, actually right there. Wipe all this up. Get that decently dry. I'm not going to take this back plate off. I don't really want to. I don't really feel like doing it. So everything looks pretty good though. You'll pull these turbos out and there will be, there'll be rust. Your unison ring will be stuck. There'll be a lot of things that you'll have to deal with sometimes that I've had to deal with in the past. A lot of times when your vanes get stuck or whatever, you have to pull your exhaust housing out and break your unison ring loose and kind of just clean it all up in there or buy a new turbo. And then what we're going to do now, there's the O-ring here on your intake side, on your intake housing. Take that off. That comes in the rebuild kit. Set that aside. Head over here. Okay, let's open up our new kit. Move this just a little bit. Okay, so what we've got here and I'm sure Charlie Fish with KC Turbos has a video on this rebuild kit. It's awesome, it's great, it's relatively inexpensive. It's for DIY guys, it's the way to go. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our new 9-blade wheel from Turbo Depot Performance. We're going to put sealing ring on that. We're gonna go ahead. It just kind of stretches out like a little piston ring, kind of. Don't put it on that one. Go all the way down. Get your fingernails in there. There we go. And that's, see how that's kind of loose right there. But once you put it in your housing, it's going to tighten up and seal all the oil off from coming out. And that's there. And then we're going to take, and I want to put, I've just got, I can't remember if it's 1540 or 540 inside this little pumper deal. I'm going to go ahead and put a little oil on the shaft here. That. Go ahead and slide our new bushing over right there. Oh, that looks pretty, so pretty. Put our spacer in. And then our other bushing here. Slide that in. And then we're going to just cover that up. Like I said, this is what worked for me. I don't know, we're gonna put a little oil inside the charger there. Just get her all lubed up. I'll put a little bit there. Just get her all lubed up and ready. And now, come in here. And what you're gonna do is you're not just gonna go mash on it, you're gonna move it a little bit and it'll slowly and have a little pressure going in. And it should compress that ring down enough to go in. In a perfect world. Right there, just like that. Okay, we've got our exhaust wheel in, we've got our bearings in, our thrust bearings in. All right, let's go here. So we have 3 pieces to our 360 kit. Our inside piece. right there, a little more oil. And then we have our 360 plate, and you want your channel to be faced towards the housing, so that way your oil can come in and go around this channel in through everything. And that sits in there just like that. And then let's go ahead and grab our little O-ring here and put our little O-ring in the body like that. Make sure that's all nice and oiled up. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take our backing plate. We're gonna put a little oil in there. We wiped it down, put a little oil in there, and then we're gonna put our other piece on here like that. We're gonna set this on, just like that. Outstanding. Okay. I'm gonna sink these down. 4 provided screws in the kit. Bolts, sorry. All right, stuff's looking pretty cool. All right, now we're gonna put our wheel back on. Remember, reverse threads. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get our trusty little snap-on torque wrench here, put her in the off mode, and then bring it around 12 foot-pounds. We're gonna torque her to 12 foot-pounds. Hold your rag. I know this is just like that. Okay, and then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring our exhaust housing over here. All right. Now, the Reman Turbo Life, this is apparently a little different, but if you get a new turbo from anybody, they're not gonna have multiple unison ring actuator holes like that, because they must have got a lot of cores, reused them a bunch, whatever. I don't care. So you have a dowel hole here, dowel there, then you have your armature here, and I usually like to put that right in the middle. And then what I'll do is I'll go close to my dowel, line up right there, my dowel, and then just make sure my armature is close there. And you want your armature to fall in first. See it right in there. I don't know if you can see that with the camera. You can see that right there. See, that fell in. Now we're just gonna move our housing a little bit and it falls right in. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take a little 3-inch extension, an awesome little Tractor Supply hammer. We're just gonna give her a little tap. See how that taps in just like that? Tap. Just don't hit anything. It doesn't need hit. And you want it seated all the way. Don't make your clamp do all the work, because then you have issues over time. That's pretty dang close right there. One more over here. Right there. You can tell that hit bottom. We'll come over here. And that hit bottom. Just make sure, I'll do one more just for good measure right there. Okay, that's perfect. And we're gonna seat our clamp. Now, you can put your clamp anywhere you want. You can put it in the same spot you took it off. It's usually best. But I will put mine usually facing up, right close to the actuator. Just that way it's easy and exposed and not up against your housing over here or anything like that. So let's go ahead and pull that over there like that. We will put our nut on. Find my 11 right there. Okay, we'll kind of tighten that up a little bit. Just come around here and kink on that clamp a little bit. Like I said, you don't have to do what I say. I just do what works for me. Just kind of seat that a little bit, give her another little bump. Because you always get a little bit more out of that. Okay, that's in. Feels good to me. Needs a little oil in there. Tighten everything up a little bit, but it feels good. So we'll tip that up. We'll get our new O-ring here. Set our O-ring over top. I'll put it over this way. Oop. A little slick. Come on, honey. A little harder than it looks. Thank you. Right there, just like that. Okay, make sure that's all in. Take your housing. So your housing on here, your housing can only go one way. Goes back, touches right there.
Okay.
Oh, a little Siri action there. Your housing only goes one way. So you can take your bolts that we took out from before. Grab these, not the 4 that came with the kit, but these on the outside. Put these in. Grab 5/16 12 point. And star pattern. Good. And that is a rebuild on a 6-liter turbo with a 9-blade TDP performance wheel and high flow vanes from KB Diesel. KBB? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. No, it's on that other bag. It's no big deal. But we'll see. We'll go throw it in and see how she sounds and see how it performs. Thanks, guys.